Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. This is where we do live hypnosis. Sometimes we do hypnosis for fun. We do hypnotic phenomena, something we call hypnotic phenomena. That's where we're kind of testing the power of your imagination and showing you how you can really focus your mind to kind of do cool stuff. Might have your might hypnotize you and make you feel like you can't say your name, for instance, or maybe you can make your arms so straight that you can't bend it. Things like that. And then alternately, the other week, then we do a kind of a therapeutic type hypnosis, although none of us are doctors, so please don't take anything that we say as any kind of medical or legal or medical advice. And so tonight we're going to be doing some therapeutic type hypnosis. And it's important to remember that we don't know you, we're not working directly with you, and so it's kind of tough for us to give you the best outcomes and to judge if you're suitable for hypnosis. So if you have any questions about whether you're a suitable candidate for hypnosis or whether or not you should be doing it, don't do it. All right, with that, I'm going to bring on my sidekick, one of my great friends, hypnotist, Brian Bay. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, good evening, Jim. Good to be back.
It is good to be back. We've been gone for, a few weeks. We snuck one in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you've been out on tour.
I've been on tour. That's right. I'm like a rock star.
Yeah.
Without all the groupies. Dang it. That's good, though. I don't want any groupies.
International fitness model.
Exactly. The fitness model profession is not taking off. I mean, it's just not taking off like I'd hoped. But I still on my vision board. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Yeah. So Brian's got a fun tale for us, but we're going to save that for just a moment for us to. We're going to welcome our special guest tonight. As you know, each night or each week, we try to have a guest hypnotist join us. And we do hypno chat for about 20 minutes. So if you came here for the hypnosis, come back in about 18 minutes or just listen in. You might learn something cool. But we will start that promptly at 8:50. We're going to bring on someone really awesome, a colleague of ours. She does really great hypnotherapeutic work. And she's an artist, meditation leader in her community. I mean, there's too many things to mention. Everybody, please give it up for Miss Nora Knople. Hello, Nora.
Hello.
Oh, the crowd is going wild.
They went crazy for that. Love it.
They went crazy for you, Nora. So, Nora, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Great to connect with you again.
Yes, likewise. I just saw Jim not that long ago. We were at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference together.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
And then it's been a while since Nora, you and I have worked together, and on behalf of myself and other veterans that you've helped and worked with and continue to work with, just a huge debt to gratitude and a tip of our hat to you for all of your efforts. It really makes a world of difference.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. And what you do and did for our country, it means a lot to me as well. So I'm happy to be able to give back and help whoever I can. So yeah. Thank you.
So Jim, do we want to put her Instagrams and Facebooks and how to find her
up? Yes, so I just placed her her Facebook profile for her for Haven Hypnosis Ohio. That's up. I'm going to drop her website as well. Also, you're welcome. I didn't have a chance. I was going to find your page on Amazon. What do you got, like 25 books out now, Nora?
Just 3 right now. Just 3.
Oh, just 3. Okay.
Just 3.
Of 25.
Of the 25.
Of 25, right. She's working on like 3 more. She's very prolific. So go check out her books. Where'd it go? Please chat amongst yourselves.
He just got one in the mail.
I did. Nora just sent me her book, Self-Care for Crisis. A really good book. I haven't had a chance to read it completely, but it looks beautiful. Also, she's got a book, the Mindful Eating Workbook. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you have that one as well, I believe. And then the first book that I wrote in 2020 It's just out on ebook, and that is the Haven Hypnosis and Wellness Meditation Guide. And so what that does is just kind of explains the different kinds of meditation that are out there. I would always get questioned, what kind do you do? What kind should I do? And it's just like hypnosis. It's whatever you're looking for, what you're going to use it for. Research it out, to find a quality practitioner, but also to find out the right kind for you. And so I was getting a lot of those questions. So I wrote a little guide to just explain to the layman what each kind of meditation is used for. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So for the folks listening at home, if you have questions for Nora, for myself, or Brian, please let us know. Also, we're going to be starting the hypnosis. What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, Nora, what are some questions or at least some information that you like to have or like to have clients be ready to provide to you, or prospective clients, when, to decide if the two of you guys working together is a good fit? I know you've worked with a lot of like first responders who have done things in places and seen some things.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Besides the very basics, like some of the kind of meatier questions, if you will, that I'll ask, especially first responders, I'll ask people if they are also going to or have sought out traditional counseling for whatever they're coming to see me for. I think that's important to find out for a variety of reasons. One of them being that maybe what they're coming to me for is outside of my wheelhouse, right? And, you guys both know this, that we don't want to tackle something that's outside of our wheelhouse, yet, we kind of have to walk that kind of balance of the tightrope, so to speak, right? To know there's going to be things that we come up against that we've never hypnotized people for before, right? And so I'm not afraid to like step into that zone and try something I think could work. But I think it's important to know if what they're coming to me for is something that maybe they need, a few sessions of traditional counseling before they would try hypnosis. So that's probably one of the big questions. One of the other ones that I think surprises people on my intake is to ask them if they have a presence of faith. And I ask, people are really surprised by that. Like, why would it matter? And we know this, but some people may not know that some religions are against, what we do. And if we're going to treat the person holistically, mind, body, and spirit, right, we need to make sure that we, understand how faith plays a role in their healing and their wellness, or if it does, or if they need to talk to their faith leader before they try hypnosis, because maybe they're in one of those religions that's important to them.
So there's a cultural aspect to be cognizant.
Yeah. So those are some of the things.
And then kind of drawn back to what you guys were, Becca, welcome back. What you were talking about earlier is working with more traditional mental health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, which letters you choose. But it's kind of like, and I'll throw like a PTSD trauma out there, is you'll work with that individual to help kind of curb the enthusiasm as like a response to a certain stimulus, while the professional helps them go and define and unpack and learn some different. So it's kind of like, here, I'm going to take some of the pain away while you process it and make sense.
Yeah. And I think that's a great way to say that. Yeah, that's a great way to say that. And I also have some specialized training in those areas. Like I'm trained in trauma care response and resiliency training and mental health first aid and so forth. So I can kind of, and also in peer recovery support facilitation. So I can kind of help people, also in the addiction aspect and the mental health aspect too, to be able to kind of navigate those waters, because maybe they didn't realize that, maybe traditional counseling could be beneficial for them, or maybe they tried a counselor once before and it was scary. So even being able to have that opportunity to talk to a hypnotist to kind of unpack even that, so to speak, can open it. That's my experience. That's how I got into hypnosis. It helped me to be able to kind of open up the window to be able to talk to a counselor because I was so shut off.
And you've given me some great tools for some of the things that I've had to continue to deal with and address in my life. And like I said, both you and Jim and other folks that I've worked with, I take little bits and nuggets and everything, and it's been truly effective.
Well, thank you.
So I'm glad. I'm excited for your current success and what the next chapters for both you and Jim hold.
Yeah. There's some exciting stuff going on.
Absolutely, and I definitely want to tackle, because I didn't know this, but Nora has developed her own protocol. I'd like to find out a little bit more about that. Before we do that, hey, I want to just give a shout out. Brian just said, hey, Becca, thanks for watching. If you're watching right now, let us know, what would you like us to focus on this week or in the future? I don't know if we'll get to it today or not, but we're going to be doing a therapeutic type hypnosis session at around 8:50 p.m. tonight, Pacific time. And so, we'll take your requests, and if possible, we'll definitely use that. So, and if you could, please, it'll help us get more people to find out about the show. If you'll give us a like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and go find Nora, and also please go find Brian. Brian, do you want to give the folks just a kind of a Reader's Digest version of your fun this week, and then we'll get started with the Nora's protocol?
I don't know if it's. I was having fun while I was doing it, and then it ground to an abrupt halt. So I am probably at least waist deep in a midlife crisis. So I got a motorcycle endorsement. A couple friends of mine went out, and we got dual sport dirt bikes. So you ride on the streets, you hit up in the mountains, and we're out on the fire trails. And admittedly, I was being foolish and trying to keep up with guys who were, 20 years more experienced than I was. And, I took a corner that was too quick and realized I wasn't going to make it. Decided I'm going to go try to hit the bushes. They're a lot softer than the pavement, and the bike had other ideas. So, short story long, I rang my bell pretty good. It scared me a lot, but fortunately, I had good gear. I had the riding jacket that had the armor on the back, so that protected my spine. And aside from just some sore muscles and wounded pride, and severe reservations on that dirt bike that tried to kill me, I think it's just going to be another couple of weeks for me to kind of get back to normal again, to my old self. So we attempted a little Stephen Hawking impression, and the good Lord had other ideas. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, I know we're all grateful for that, Brian. Hey,
fortunately, normal's overrated. So,
that's
so
right.
What?
Normal's overrated. So.
Oh yeah.
So if you'd like to join us on the stream tonight, either to ask a question, just to say hi, or to actually be on the stream while we do the hypnosis, I just posted a link in the comments there, so you can tap that. You can join us. We've got Alexa is back again. Brian, you remember Alexa was there a couple weeks ago, almost 6 a.m. there in Siberia, and wish you the best. And hello to Brian, aka Elvis Presley.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
That looks like Serbia.
Like Serbia.
Like
yeah, okay. Serbia.
Czech
okay, yeah, not
area.
Siberia.
I'm gonna have to Google Maps that. I'm like vision slightly distorted, but yeah, the post-concussion stuff will run its course.
Thanks for hanging in from Serbia at 6 a.m. I thought I was staying up late for you guys.
Yeah, right.
And I think Becca's over in the UK somewhere.
Right. Yeah. So awfully early or late for her. Brian, you told me before we got on the stream that you used something. Speaking of hypnosis, you used something after the accident.
Yes. So I was riding in a group of 3 at the end, and I went over the bars. I experienced weightlessness and then gravity a lot. And just kind of the way I came down, on the top of my head, when I hit, everything just went, this is really bad. And it took me a second to kind of stop and kind of use that self-hypnosis of like, okay, the pain is going to flow through you. It's just breathe. That's all you can do right now. Your friends are a couple minutes up the road. They're going to realize you haven't followed them. They can't hear the bike anymore, and they're going to go back from where you came. So get back to the bike, get the bike shut off, and get laid down in the trail and just open your arms up and just try to move and breathe. And I think just it was kind of like a what would Jim do type of thing. It was like world-renowned fitness model, save me now, come on. Right. And, so it was just one of those things that probably kept me calm, kept me from panicking, and probably kept things going from a lot worse than they did. And luckily for me, I actually rode probably another 75 miles, up through the hills and then, back home safely and all that stuff. But it, like I said, it kept me calm, kept me not to panic and things like that. So Nora, you were probably with me too, and some of the stuff of just, don't freak out.
Yeah.
But definitely scary though. So I life has a way of doing that.
Well, we had some well wishes from Becca and Alexa. So they're both wishing you well, hoping you get better soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, folks.
Very, very kind of you guys. I was hoping I could feel a little bit better today to make it tonight.
We're glad you're here.
Thanks for reminding me, because I still thought today was Tuesday or Friday.
Yeah. I'm glad you could make it. Nora, we've just got a couple of minutes before we start the hypnosis. Can you give us a kind of a quick overview of the Knople Protocol? And this is Nora Knople, and so it's called the Knople Protocol.
Yeah, so it's called the Knople Protocol. Some people that I've been working with dubbed it that. So I'm not, anybody who knows me well enough knows I'm not arrogant enough to name it that myself. But
you can name it after me if you want. I mean,
the world-renowned fitness protocol.
Yeah.
Own
it, Nora.
So yeah, own it. So in a nutshell, I started to notice some patterns and some things in pain management that were working really well for me. Things that I've learned over the years, things that, most hypnotists know, like drain the pain and, dialing down and things like that. And one particular area was really spoke to me. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with Connie Ray Andreas. She works mostly in NLP. Mm-hmm. So she does something called wholeness work. She also does core transformation. Well, the wholeness work piece, I kind of did some training on in the Orlando conference that I was at in May. And it was really profound. And I took it home and started to kind of play with it and ended up making it my own. And when I say making it my own, that the Knople Protocol ended up being this mesh of drain the pain and dial down and wholeness work all in one magnificent session. What I found, though, that helped even better, that got clients even better faster, was being able to do something called Reiki hypnosis. I'm a Reiki practitioner, and being able to use Reiki as the induction does two things. Because what do we have to do with hypnosis, right? To get them to be hypnotized, we have to get them to relax, right? Reiki does that automatically. So being able to use Reiki as the induction also helps me to not have to work so hard to get them there. So being able to just kind of meld this all together. So Reiki hypnosis as the induction, and then really going away from the cookie cutter approach, listening to the clients on where they are and where they want to be. And then using this protocol, this process to help them either dial it down, drain it away, or dissolve it to move beyond it. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Nice.
And
that's awesome.
And I'm in a case study with a physical therapist here in home using the protocol on her most difficult clients. And of the clients that are who have gone through the whole process and maintained compliancy with physical therapy and the doctors that have referred to me also, 100% of them are pain-free.
Are those a lot of those like your personal injury clients that have been like car accidents, or is this more like chronic pain from?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. Yeah. A lot of them are chronic pain. Like I have one lady who couldn't understand why she had pain. I'll just share this briefly, but she couldn't understand why the physical therapy, quote unquote, wasn't working. Right. Mm-hmm. So I go through and I'm asking a series of questions that's on my intake. And I said, well, how long have you been in chronic pain? 36 years. Like it was very specific. And I said, 36 years is a long time. Did something happen 36 years ago? Nobody's ever asked her that question. Did something happen 36 years ago well, my son was born. Well, tell me about that. So as she's telling me this is opening up. She had a very difficult birth, never pinpointed it back there, and all this hip pain, that energy from the emotional trauma of what she went through on that birth was still stuck there in her hips. And once I was able to help her release that, physical therapy was a lot easier.
Oh, wow. I mean, I mean, you have the emotional energy, but then also the physical stuff, like your body goes through that physical change. And I see a lot of this with personal injury clients of mine that, when I talk to them, hey, how is it going with your chiropractor or whoever? They're like, yeah, doc says we're opening up vertebrae and decompressing nerves, and we're waking a lot of stuff up that's been, pinched off or, asleep for quite a while. And I'm like, yeah, it's releasing. It's going to kind of get a little bit worse before it gets better. But overall, I mean, it's got to be amazing to just improve people's lives, making such a positive.
I never imagined it would happen so quickly. And one of the other beautiful things that's come out of it is I've started to, obviously with permission of clients, be able to expand beyond pain management. And I tried to use my protocol recently on smoking cessation clients, and it works beautifully with smoking cessation clients. So it's really been an awesome discovery. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, that's so cool. I'm really glad to see that you've been in the field for a long time. It's time for a Knople Protocol.
Well, thank you. I like to give credit where credit's due, because all this training and stuff that's flooded into me that allowed me to just kind of mesh these things together to call it mine. But I'm always very careful to make sure I call out, the pieces and parts of it, because other people created pieces and parts of it to help me make what I made it into. So, but
right on. Sounds good.
Maybe I'm too humble for my own good. I don't know.
I mean, how much do you think a lot of it is from a client's perspective, as far as the mental stuff, just understanding, having something like I can say, my right shoulder blade hurts because I yeeted myself, or a motorcycle tried to assassinate me. I understand what caused it. I understand why it hurts. But if it was just like I woke up one morning and someone goes, well, you just slept on it wrong, I would be like, I'm trying to visualize and but I think it sounds a lot of being able to define it, let someone visualize it, pinpoint it, and then kind of like what you and I talked about is like, hey, let somebody come inside me, on a mental level. Quiet, Jim, not a word. Go into those dark spaces.
Yeah.
Pick up the bag of crap and carry it out and get rid of it. So you're not, you're not carrying it with you. And if you can do that with pain, anxiety.
And I think a big component of it is beyond the mental part of it. It's a lot of it's spiritual. We don't ever think that the spiritual aspect of it has holds as much weight. And what I mean by that, some people are like, that might be lost on them. What I mean by that, like, let's take your accident, for example, if I might for a moment, Brian.
Of course, yeah.
And maybe down the road, you're like, man, this shoulder still is aggravating me and I can't figure out why. And I've done the things and I'm using hypnosis and I'm whatever, and I'm still not getting there. But you find out down the road through me asking you whatever the series of questions might be, it's that, well, what's been your internal dialogue since you've been having that conversation? You've been, and I find out that you're like beating yourself up over the fact that, wow, that was stupid or whatever it might be. A lot of times we carry the weight of that spiritual, heaviness of it and don't realize the real weight.
What causes the pain in the back of your shoulder? Every time I throw my leg over the bike, it just starts. You've been conditioned.
It's your subconscious telling you, "Wow, that was stupid. What are you doing this for?"
I can see an attorney talking to me in the court of law. Okay, show us on the doll where the bike touched you and
right.
Did the bad things.
Yeah, you're going out and shaming the bike every night. You're carrying around that spiritual energy from the bike.
Yeah, now I've got all these nice people from foreign countries laughing at me and stuff like that. But no, that's good stuff. I mean, it's very informative, and I think a lot of people understanding kind of the method behind the madness probably helps alleviate some of their concerns, where they're more apt to go and seek out the folks like you and Jim. I'm just another pretty face to look at on Friday nights and a voice to listen to.
Model that he is.
That's right. Easy eye candy.
I think the big thing that it alleviates for people, Brian, is hopelessness.
Yeah. Oh, you hit that nail on the head a lot, because when Jim was like, "Hey, I'm going to be out of town doing gym things in gym places for gym money," things that we can disclose, other things better left unsaid.
True. And
he said, "Hey, let me put you in touch with Nora. Work with her for a little bit. She's great." There was a lot of confidence in your competence and your ability, which, again, it was, here's another person I get to work with, even if it is for a short time, and that hopefulness is, God, I can't tell you how powerful that is.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Questions.
Glad that Nora was able to help out with that. So, I think the other great thing about this protocol you're talking about is, we oftentimes work with clients, especially if there's some new folks out there. We know that, probably one session is not going to be enough for most things, unless it's just a little bit of stress, maybe a little bit of trouble sleeping or something. But I think that especially when you're newer, you don't know what else to do. You do a hypnosis session, what do I do next time? So I think that's the value in having protocols like this, like you're describing, so people have sort of a path that they can follow, if nothing else, when in doubt, fall back to the protocol.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about, like you said, a lot of it after one session, and when I say one session, the very first session I meet with them is an hour and a half long. So there's a lot of time where I'm, waiting for clients to just kind of follow that path internally and answer questions and nod and things, right? So, in that discovery of things and the way it kind of unfolds is, you're able to kind of go through and have them label those things that are the places essentially where the fear or the pain or whatever it might be is rooted, and in dissolving them individually. And when you get to a place that just won't dissolve, then you go look for the root of that and then dissolve that. And then you can, and so it ends up kind of being like this little puzzle. Other people that I have used it on, like, I'm glad you brought that up about the fear, and like, there might be things you have to kind of dig a little deeper in those subsequent sessions. And I found, and I don't know, Jim, you find that this is true also, that a lot of things that we deal with, the basis of them, not everything, but the basis of them are rooted in fear and stress. Like those are the two big components that I find anyway. If I have a smoking cessation client, rarely do I have somebody who has to, come back. But I always tell them right up front, I like to book 2 sessions, and here's why. We work on the smoking cessation, whatever it might be, or the weight management or mindful eating. But ultimately, in the past, where people have come back, it's because they've had a fear of something, or stress is kind of compounding the behavior, right? So I like to I book 2 sessions with new clients off the bat for those reasons, so that we can really, really make sure that we're seeing the ultimate success that they're coming into the office for.
How often do you give them the opportunity to brag about their success after the first treatment? Like, hey, I've smoked, 35 less cigarettes this week. I've saved a butt ton of money. It's what may have you.
Well, one of the things I always end my session with, and again, if I haven't proven it here tonight, I'm a little like maybe too humble for my own good. So, but one of the things I do end my session with, after I thank them for coming in, is as they're leaving, I say, if it behooves you, feel free to leave me a review. And so I always leave it at that. So, but there's, there's been usually, I just got another, an email today that I copied and pasted confidentially that somebody found profound help. And it was, I think I saw them Wednesday, and they emailed me today and said, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened. So yeah, it was pretty
great.
Cool.
We do have to wrap up the Hypno chat now. We're already running over time.
I know,
so do apologize. We'll start going back to 30 minutes on that. Thought we could do it quicker, but we got a lot to chat about, people. I'm sorry. So if you've been waiting for the hypnosis, again, I apologize.
Becca wants to know if hypnosis can help with migraines, because she tends to suffer with them a lot. Becca, drink more water, less booze.
And absolutely, hypnosis can help with that. Nora, we're going to get started now.
Yeah.
I do want to just remind everybody, we're not doctors, since we're not working with you individually, we're not able to screen you for any conditions which might preclude you from being a good candidate for hypnosis. So if you have any doubts at all, if you have any serious psychological issues, check with the doctor first. Check with your mental health counselor first before you tackle the hypnosis. We're going to do something pretty generalized. Nora, do you have? Oh, and also, please do not listen while driving or moving around. That's a big deal. And
be out of range for other furniture.
And I would like to talk more about what Becca's question, but we'll save that for after the hypnosis. After we're done with the hypnosis, then we will answer more about migraines, pain, and that kind of a thing. Nora, do you have something you'd like to focus on for folks tonight?
Well, yeah, when we're talking a little bit about the protocol, I thought if it was okay with you, I would lead in with an induction, and then let you guys kind of roll with it from there, and do the induction that I usually use from part of the protocol, if that works for you, because it's really kind of general. It allows clients or potential clients to be able to kind of find an experience within themselves, like a self-exploration that they want to focus on. So if you'd like, I can just lead right in with that.
So we will keep the suggestions and the metaphors within the hypnosis directed in that direction too, as self-exploration. I love it.
Self-exploration of what it is that you would like to have relief from. And I know it sounds very broad, but once we get into this, it's quite magical the way it unfolds. And they've not and Brian and Jim haven't exactly experienced the protocol, in a formal way. But the way that I set up the induction, I have no doubt we'll be able to kind of tag team this, and it'll be a beautiful thing.
Awesome. This is what we experiment on. This is I've never done this before, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of just weave different people's styles in together. So awesome.
All right. Well, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, the disclaimer that Jim has there on the bottom of the screen, make sure you're taking good care of yourself. But if you're in a safe place where you can do so, we'd invite you to go ahead and drop into this moment. And if it feels safe for you to do so, you can go ahead and close your eyes and allow yourself to tune out the outside world for just a moment, to tune into yourself. If it doesn't feel safe to do so, that's okay. You can just focus on a focal point, a picture, something across the way to allow your presence to just be with you. Allow yourself to tune out the outside world for a while. That excludes my voice and my friends' voices here, because our voices will go with you wherever you go on this journey. Our voices will go with you wherever you go on this journey as you settle in, tuning into yourself. And if you're peering across the way, you might start to notice that your eyes just will automatically get heavy, as they will, as they do. And as they will, and as they do, if you feel the need to close them, go ahead and do so. Or drop your gaze downward and allow your eyes to soften and remain open. And then shift your awareness to your breath and just begin to notice your breath, and notice that every breath out is automatically relaxing you into a space, into the present space where you are right now, making you more aware of your body, more aware of your body, your mind, and your spirit, your presence here and now. Following that breath into your body, just noting where it's going, noting what it's doing, how you feel right now, where you feel what you feel right now. And as you drop into that place and that space, notice that breath out now, releasing and letting go, letting it all go. Releasing and letting it all go, letting it all go now. As you drift down, deeper, deeper down. Into this place and space, this beautiful hypnotic rest where you can explore, where you can be you, authentically you, as you breathe and relax and let it go. Let it all go now. Any stress or tension from the top of your head to the tips of your toes automatically releases with that next breath out. And you feel your eyes and your jaw soften, your neck and your shoulders soften. Your posture strong. Your legs, feet, and toes, your fingers and thumbs and arms relax. As you take the next big deep breath in, as you exhale, your whole body relaxes into this place and space. And as you continue to drift down, deeper, deeper down, I'd like you to consider an experience that you'd wish to explore and develop a safe space for you to heal within. If it's a painful experience or an exuberant experience, regardless, you'll just experience it only as an observer without reliving the event or the experience. Just breathe and relax into that place and that space with wonderment as you consider an experience you wish to explore. And regardless of the experience that you wish to explore, relieving yourself of the pain and the anguish, any negative feelings attached to it, allowing the lessons to remain. And as you continue to breathe and relax, deeper down, deeper down, all the while mindfully aware, able to process the sensations in a way that promotes healing, to understand what you feel without feeling painful, but to just know that the lessons and the learning are part of the healing, and that feels good and you feel good. And in that and with that, you take a big deep breath in. And as you exhale, I will count from 5 to 1. And when I arrive at 1, you will be ready to accept the healing that's about to take place with 5, relaxing even more with 4, deeper down with 3, 2, 1, taking that big deep breath in. Exhale and be.
And I wonder if you might recall what it was like when you were a child with an open mind. And you can bypass any negative feelings, memories, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, but just remembering what it was like to have that open mind, that creative spirit. Perhaps you like to go on treasure hunts. Perhaps you had anticipation, waiting for surprises, and perhaps you're going to find some surprises today. Surprises that will delight you and amaze you, and maybe you're already thinking of a direction you might be heading in your life. Or maybe you have no idea at all. Maybe tomorrow will seem like a surprise gift. As you develop your creativity and intuition that leads you on your journey of exploration. Perhaps there's healing that needs to be done. Perhaps there's creativity that needs to be unleashed. Perhaps there's something uncomfortable or painful within you that you'd like to just let go of it now. It could be as easy as a nice big exhale. As you breathe in deeply and then exhale anything that does not serve you, I'm certain you'll find answers. Everything that you need is within you now. Everything that you need to know exists within you. And all you need to do is relax and allow it to come forth.
Just allow it. Just allow it and just breathe and relax into that space. And give yourself permission to stay in that healing space. As you explore what it's like to feel whole and be well, and be curious about what's to come.
Nothing else to think about. Nothing else to do. As all outside sounds and distractions simply fade away, bringing you right back to our voices. Our voices which go with you today, tomorrow, for as long as you'd like. You may find yourself in the coming days, weeks, months, and even years recalling a phrase, a word that you heard right here. Perhaps it continues to make a difference in your life. And perhaps there's times when you begin to question what's really going on. You may begin to think that things are happening outside of your awareness, and that's okay. Because there is that part of you deep within you that knows exactly what you need to see, hear, and feel to make you whole, to make you the best version of yourself.
And as you breathe and relax and allow that awareness to come to you and through you and around you and within you, just notice the sensations that you feel, that you are aware of, that you're experiencing, and how much lighter and brighter you feel in this moment than when we started. How much lighter and brighter you feel with or without the answers. And all the answers are not with you maybe now, maybe they are. Maybe they'll come in the days, and the weeks, and the hours, and the moments ahead. But they will come. They will come. You're already starting to understand that and be aware of the answers within you and around you and through you and to you now.
And it feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to just know or to be okay with not knowing. It feels okay to let go of your thoughts, behaviors, and attitudes that have held you back. You know the ones. Perhaps those soundtracks that run through your mind on a daily basis that are not supportive. Those are the kinds of things that you can let go of now. As you continue to explore, perhaps you begin to feel like you're floating through all parts of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and perhaps even spiritually. Looking closely and finding a sense of wonder and happiness. Feel that joy right there where you feel joy. Some people notice the feeling of joy in their stomach and some in their heart, and some could feel it as an overall feeling. It's so much fun to explore, to discover, to find out things about yourself. That's right, you're doing perfectly.
You're doing amazing. You are amazing. And as you hear those words just floating around you, like the energy wave that you're riding on right now, lulling you into this beautiful space. You are amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. And you hear that and you feel that to the core of your being. And you find your mind reciting those words, saying them to yourself. I am amazing. I am amazing. Wow, I am amazing. Yeah.
And every time you pass by a mirror now, you find yourself compelled to repeat that phrase, I am amazing. And sometimes it's out loud, and sometimes it's said loudly out loud. And sometimes it's silently into yourself. But every time you pass by a mirror and you see your reflection, you may find yourself compelled to repeat that phrase. I am amazing, because you truly are. You truly are amazing. And I wonder if you'd be willing to just take a moment to scan back through this entire hypnosis session. Become aware of anything that seemed especially helpful, and you can grab onto it now. Anything that didn't seem quite right for you in the moment, you can leave that behind, knowing that you could always take it in later if it's appropriate to do so. And if by chance there was something, anything at all, that you feel you needed to see, hear, or feel, imagine it happening now, so that this hypnotic session is the very best it could possibly be. And it will contribute to growth in your life, joy, and the fun of discovery and exploration.
And as you grab a hold of what you need and leave behind what no longer serves you, or maybe it'll serve you, as Jim said, in a later time, bring with you whatever it is you need. Grab a hold of it now, as if you're picking flowers from a beautiful garden and bringing back a bouquet of whatever it is that you need to put on display in your very own vase. And as you pick and choose exactly what you need and grab that bouquet of the wonderment and the wonder and the amazing person you are, you smell the fragrance. You take it all in. You see the colors. You feel it. You know it. You own it. You are amazing. You are. You are.
And as you take that affirmation, that mantra with you, Nora will lead you back to your normal state. Now, if it's a time for sleep or relaxation, you can continue doing so. But if it's a time to be wide awake and alert, then perhaps that will be what happens next, as Nora leads you now.
And as you bring that wondrous bouquet of creativity and fun and joy and whatever it is that you picked in that bouquet back with you, in a moment, I'm going to count you back slowly and gently and peacefully back into the present moment, into the now, from 1 to 10. And when we arrive at 10, with every number you hear as you come up, you'll remember the sights and the sounds and the smells and any and all parts that you need to bring back with you, whatever, and only the most important parts that you need to bring back with you. When we arrive at 10, you'll take a big deep breath in, filling yourself up with all that you need, and exhale and settle into that space with 1, 2, 3, more aware, more alert, coming back into the here and the now. 4 and 5, feeling even more alive. 6, bringing back with you all that you need to know, all you need to learn. 7, 8, feeling great, wiggling your toes and fingers, even opening your eyes or disengaging your gaze. 8 and 9, 9 and 10, taking a big deep breath in, filling yourself up with all that you need. And as you exhale, settle into that space of exactly what you need, what you want. You are amazing. Thanks, guys.
You are amazing.
As
Thank you. As you emerge now from your hypnosis session or just drift down, please let us know what the experience was like for you. Drop a comment down below. Even if you're watching this later on, I always check the comments. We had some really nice, we had a funny comment from Becca. Vodka is her water. So maybe we can help her with that at some point.
Yeah.
Live hypnosis is awesome. Mark, it's still something I'm experimenting with. What did you think of the experience tonight? Or kind of do it? Have you done live like this with like nobody to look at? No victim to look at, subject?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was it like for you? And then the dual thing, what was that like for you?
Well, that part was interesting too. I've done dual before. When I did hypnosis training years ago, we did dual inductions a lot with our teacher. She loved them. So I did have experience in that, playing off of each other when you don't know when the other is going to cue in. I think we did fine because we just, I think it helps that we know each other. So it was like pause and go, pause and go. But not having like a person right there, that I was working with. I just pretend we were hypnotizing Brian, even though I knew that he wasn't going to engage.
Brian stopped, and then he got to the part where it's like, okay, just let your head just sort of relax, and my back was like, I heard a little Dave Chappelle voice behind my ear being, gotcha.
Thank you, Mark. That's nice to hear. Your voices are relaxing.
Yeah, thank you.
Becca, it was so good, she says. Love that. And I feel great at the moment. That's awesome.
Success.
Mark said he likes the two voices. That was really neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well tonight because we kind of matched our styles, which is helpful. So yeah, it's really interesting. Like I said, I mean, I'm just experimenting, trying new things and seeing what happens.
And we've only ever done street hypnosis before, and it's not always like right next to each other. Like Jim and I aren't always working on people right next to each other, so we don't really know each other's styles all that well.
Well, you guys did great. It was like, Jim, you'd come off and kind of, taper off a little bit, and then Nora, you'd pick right back up, and then Nora, you'd get to a stopping point, and it flowed so very eloquently back and forth between the two of you guys. It was very, very
thank you.
Well done.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I felt like it went really, really well that way. So we're going to be wrapping it up, but before we do, I'm going to let you, since you're our special guest, Nora, I'm going to let you answer the question about migraines. Can hypnosis help with migraines?
Yes, it can, in short. I actually have a couple of clients that I'm working with now that are in the case study that are formerly suffer with migraines, I say. Migraines can sometimes, at least in my experience, they can be a little bit difficult because I think, at least in my experience, people experience migraines in different ways. There's different kind of facets to it. And so those are some questions, for hypnotists who are watching that you might want to ask when you're working with migraine clients. Like if they have
aversions to water.
Focal seizures, with their migraines or anything like that, because that can be important to know when you're working with them with hypnosis, of especially like what metaphors and things that or inductions you may or may not want to use if they have focal seizures with their migraines, or if they have certain things that trigger them that might have to do with sense or or their sensory issues. I find that sometimes, that having to ask those questions, then I might not use, there might be certain inductions that I wouldn't use, but in short, yes, they can help with, hypnosis can absolutely help with migraines. I had a client last week that was in the office that I worked with migraines, and she actually kind of created her own metaphor in the process, which was kind of cool. So she likened her migraines to, like she said, the only thing that helped her like visualize to feel relief was to imagine that she was taking all these like that she was an exterminator, and like there were these like bugs that were causing her migraine. And I'm like, all right, we'll work with that. I'm now an exterminator.
She's playing Asteroids, the mental portion in her head.
Right.
Zapping them out.
So I did want to, I just want to say something too, you know, Becca, I would love to have been able to say, hey, let's make this about, you know, migraines or pain control, but we're pretty wary about doing that without a doctor's note, because, you know, here's the bottom line, you know, what if, and I'm not saying this is the case, of course, Becca, don't freak out, but what if somebody had a brain tumor or something, or had some kind of a bad injury, and we're doing this pain relief, and so it helps the pain, but that pain was a warning message to go get some help. And so even, you know, something with like knee pain or something like that, we still want to get, you know, maybe a doctor's note, you know, somebody saying, yes, you know, that we're aware of the physical symptoms that are going on, and it's safe to go ahead and try to mask that now. So that's where we're coming from on that. Yeah.
And like in my case, Pain on Sunday was like, hey, congratulations, you have not unsubscribed from Life yet. We're still trying to reach you for your extended warranty. But
that's a really great seeing the silver lining right there, right?
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, it was. But try Becca, try this lovely drink. It's called Aguas Frescas. It's like super. It sounds Spanish, so it's foreign to me. It's got to be good,
right?
And the water does help a lot. And Becca, I will tell you, I'm somebody actually who's diagnosed with chronic migraine disorder that they originally thought was MS, and it was not, fortunately. And so for me, and I don't know, again, not a doctor, not giving you medical advice, but this is what works for me. Is my specialist at the Cleveland Clinic said, Nora, drink 1 large cup of coffee a day and see if that helps. And it's been 10 years since my diagnosis, and I've never had taking migraine medicine, just self-hypnosis and my 1 cup of coffee a day. So the caffeine for me works, but again, not a doctor. Check with your doctor and see if that's something that they would recommend.
Yeah. Looks like Mark had some success with insomnia, and I can't tell you how much an awesome night's sleep just makes you feel ready to go crush the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah, absolutely. You know, I do find, you know, that is one of the things that I think that hypnosis, oftentimes we can help somebody in just one session with, is the insomnia. You know, here's a recording, go listen to this every night. And that and stress, you know, oftentimes if it's, you know, minor stress or something. I mean, it's so incredibly helpful. You know, the funny thing with me about insomnia and hypnosis, sometimes I'm resistant to listen to the hypnosis, and I don't know why. I'm like, no, it's going to disturb me. It's going to bother me. But then after a while, if I can't sleep, I put it on and I'm out in like, you know, a couple minutes. And I wake up going, why didn't I listen to it earlier?
I do the same thing. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Usually my go-to, years ago when I had bouts of insomnia was the only hypnotist at the time that could get me to go right to sleep was Freddie Jacquin. So I would put on Freddie Jacquin and I'd go right out. So
he's got that great voice. So
he does.
The British accent.
It helped. Yeah, that helps. Ladies like Freddie's voice.
It's no Elvis.
I always wonder if that's right. Exactly. I wonder. I mean, do the British folks think that the American accent is sexy? I don't know.
I don't know.
We're gonna have to ask Becca. She's our resident expert on all things. Well, she's the closest to British.
She's the closest we have right now.
So Nora, I know you did a presentation on the Nora protocol, the
Nora.
Knople Protocol. At the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. Saturday, I was teaching at the same time. But where else can folks learn this protocol if they want to do that?
Well, I'm hoping here on Zoom. I'm actually in spring of next year, hoping to be able to bring that training to people who are interested in it. To train hypnotists to do it. In April of 23. So look on my Facebook page for that. But I also, I'll drop a little hint. I also put it in to do it as a pre or post conference for Hypno Thoughts.
Ooh.
So we'll see. None of us know yet if we're picked yet, but so if we're lucky, then I'll get to teach it in July in Vegas. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nora, have you given any thought to reaching out to any like first responders and law enforcement agencies as kind of like a train the trainer thing? As here's some little tools and tips to whether you're on scene to somebody who's experienced a traumatic thing. I think that would be.
I'm glad you. Yeah, no, it's like that. I'm glad you mentioned that. So I also serve on my local county mental health board.
Yeah, and I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah. So I just in March or April, I created a video series with our board director. We hired like a professional video crew to come in, and I did some self-care stuff specifically for first responders, like tips about, what to do in the field or how to decompress before you even get back to the station so that you can have a clear head to write your report and so I've been working on some things with our mental health director to bring that to our firefighters, our police officers, and first responders. And then also here in my area, I'm not a part of this, but the board, has been following this, and that is our local NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, is training our police officers to help bring awareness to when they show up about how to handle mental health crisis cases so they can de-escalate on the scene, which is something that really hadn't been taught until recently and is very, very much needed in law enforcement. But one of the great things that our area of law enforcement is allowing to happen is the potential to have either like social workers or people of that nature that are that have those types of specialized training to go along on calls, to be able to be called out into the field so that law enforcement can do law enforcement, and then mental health professionals can come in and do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want law enforcement guys, clearing leather or kydex with a firearm and going sleep, pow, and be like, oh, success.
Right. And I've had, and I don't want to sound too graphic, but I've had firefighters who, and without trying to get too graphic, like I said, they'll go out to an accident scene and they'll come back and they'll try to decompress. Yeah. And they don't know how to decompress, but then if it's a really graphic scene, we'll say they'll go to counseling and the counselor wants to take them back and rehash what they went through. And every firefighter I've talked to yet has said, and this is not knocking counselors and how they do things, but every firefighter I've talked to says,
I don't want to go do that.
I don't want to relive it, Nora. How do I just go from being present and take the present into the future? And I said, well, this is how we do that.
Or like, law enforcement, they, you might go to some type of a sexual abuse or a graphic call. Yeah. And then the next call that you're going through is Karen's pissed because the neighbor's dog crapped in her yard. And it's like, well, I want to do, and you're like, you can't just go, listen, lady, you don't have any idea what I just came from, or
you can't dump on Karen in the front yard.
Tell me how you feel about that, and do it with a straight smile on your face without, lest you be, receiving a complaint and, stuff like that. And it's you know, you got our community, you know, these people are the pillars of our community. They keep us safe. They show up when we're all having the worst days of our life. And at least recognizing, I mean, even from just something as a peer to peer, to be like, hey, you just saw some ugly side of life.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's get you go talk to somebody. And this isn't going to be like in your medical file or anything that's going to, you know,
right. We have a program.
Promotion.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. We have a program called React, which is specifically like what you're talking about. It allows not just the first responders in our area to be able to come together and have those kind of conversations, but React also addresses the needs for the family of those first responders, because a lot of times when you're taking that home, you don't realize the trickle down effect that's having on your spouses, your children, or whomever's in your home. So the React program that we help with as a board is being able to help bring some of those services to the first responders and their families. So everybody's getting the tools.
There's so many different ways that you could apply it to life. I mean, entrepreneurs, if you want to be, you know, sales, interacting, communicating with people, having that confidence to believe in yourself, because a lot of times you're the product. If you're in, you know, dating relationships, you know, being able to go out and have the confidence to admit, you know, I want, you know, a companionship. I'm, you know, attracted to, you know, I mean, my years in family law, you know, like, oh my God, if my husband would have just, you know, pulled my hair and done this, and, you know, without getting all, you know, crazy graphic and everything. And it's like, well, why didn't you just say that? Well, are you kidding me? I can't say that to my husband. I'm like,
right.
Wait, your best friend, you know, Thunder Buddy for life, and you can't say, hey, do these things.
Right.
You know, how many people live their lives unfulfilled? You know, the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Jim, you've beaten this into my head so many times, going, yeah, let me know when someday gets here. All right. What day is that again? I'm like, oh God. Okay. I get it. You know,
well, you just reminded me of the thing that I'm always, you know, it's funny, you know, the older you get, the more you go, hey, I got to get some stuff done, because, you know, time could be running out. You know, I may be immortal. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still hoping that I'm immortal, but we'll find out. But, you know, don't die with your music inside you. I love that quote. Can't remember who said it now, but I mean, a lot of people living unfulfilled lives, like you said there. Nora, is there anything else that we need to know that we didn't cover today that you'd like to mention now?
No, I mean, no, I think we said it all. You plugged my books, so thank you. I do have, like Jim said, I am in the process of writing really only 3 other books, but there probably are 25 others in my head. So yeah, hopefully the virtues of the chakras will be out hopefully by the holidays. But yes, Self-Care for Crisis for Mind, Body, and Spirit, the Mindful Eating Workbook, and the Meditation Guide, they're all on Amazon. If you Google my name, Nora Knople, remember the K, silent, but it's there. If you Google my name in Amazon, you'll be able to pull those books up, and we greatly appreciate it.
And one of them is even on, I remember I saw one of them was on the, what is that thing that if you have a subscription or something, you can read it for free. I hope you still get
on Kindle, on the, it's the Kindle version, but yeah, if you have the Amazon Prime or whatever, you can download. I think 2 of the books on there, you can download and read them for free. So take a look at that and see.
Brian, final thoughts.
Oh, I think she's being incredibly modest, and she's building the suspense for the next time you have her back on. But
that's right.
I would love to come back.
Well, sometimes when I do want to, I just want to let everybody know too. You know, she was on Exploring Awesome. I was not numbering episodes at that time. I started numbering episodes. So after about 100 episodes, I decided I should start numbering them. But you can find her on my playlist on YouTube, the Exploring Awesome, and we're gonna have her back on because she she's gone through some stuff, and we want to tackle that. So we'll definitely have her back on
I will
there.
plug, since you mentioned Exploring Awesome, I will plug.
Yeah.
I did have
yes.
Jim on Divine Dragonfly, which is my old podcast, and I made him cry, and I always like to bring that up.
She punched me. That's what she did.
Virtually, I virtually punched him. But I also have a cool new podcast called Unscripted Energy. I'm like Kathy Lee Gifford here. I have my own cup from Talk Show Cup. Right. Unscripted Energy. You can find it on Spotify.
Nora, if you've got
every Sunday.
If you've got a link for that you can send to Jim either in the private chat or in Messenger, we'll make sure that we get those up. And then Mark was asking about putting links in the comments. Mark, if you want to scroll up, I think you're viewing on YouTube. There might be. I know we had links up earlier. Jim, if you want to kind of replug those again.
I'll see if I can. Yeah, I'll try to get those. I'm trying to find the. I should have done my homework a little bit better and had the playlist set up for Exploring Awesome. You can find Nora's episode. I will look for that afterwards, and I'll put that up. I'll put the other ones up. I'll repost the other ones right now.
And I just posted in the private chat to Brian or to Jim the Spotify link.
It went to both of us. Jim's got the control to kick it into blast it out to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're going to drop. So these are the relinks, the links from before, Mark. So that's you can get a hold of Nora. Let me catch up on a couple of other things here too. You guys are great. Becca says, "Don't go." Thank you, Becca. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. With the longtime listeners that show up. Can't even tell you how much I appreciate it.
We promise we're getting it in the works, Becca. We will have you on and have you kind of pimp your TikTok page and.
Oh, cool! I'll have to look Becca up on TikTok.
Yeah, she seems to be kind of one of those fans of hypnosis. So
I'm new on TikTok. Yes. I'm new on TikTok. I have like 15 videos out there, but they're mostly I do this thing called 15-second meditation. So.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have Becca on to get a perspective on someone who's usually on the receiving end of the hypnosis, to be like, I've got my floaty feelings, I've got my good feelings, here are different, things that I like and kind of deep, kind of play hypnosis Mythbusters, if you will.
No, I think that's
absolutely
cool.
But we've got to get her on, the time difference and everything. So. But that
would be fun to get some subjects on, people to talk about their experiences with hypnosis. Love that, Ryan. Good idea.
Yeah. Also, Jim, I think it's been a minute. Shriners for Children's. We're doing our haunted house down at the Nile in Mount Lake Terrace, Washington. If you guys check out nowshriners.org or be a Shriner now.
Love Shriners.
Yeah, they're all over the world. We're goofy guys with funny hats and tiny cars doing great things to help kids with their medical stuff. So
we had a fire when I was a kid, and my the Shriners paid for my brother's Job stockings because he had a bad burn as a kid.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, I told you. You may not have been on here, but it was probably about 6 months ago. There was a little 18-month-old boy that was bit in the leg by a brown recluse spider a couple times, and phone call came in. I need $35,000 for a medevac flight, and we were like, "Yep, make it happen." Got him to Texas, I think, in 12 hours. Saved his leg, and I mean, not that we saved his life. The docs were able to save his leg because we got him there so quickly.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Doing great things. Having a blast. I was just sick, and then I rang my bell. So definitely looking forward to getting back with those guys. But thanks for everybody for coming out. Be awesome. Stay free, guys.
Yeah. All
right. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Go grab a free hypnosis download on my website, jimkellnerhypnotist.com/free-hypnosis. Until next time, take care, be well, be awesome.
Bye.
Take care, guys.